All right, so here we have Bitcoin on Bybit on the 1 hour. As you can see, we're still in the range. Now, we do have the FOMC meeting today, so I think the vol is going to start picking up. As you can see, your BBWP is entering the lower zone. It's contracting right now. We did have a little bit of let me see here. 28 640. We had a little over $1,000 pump yesterday, or $1,000 rise. So right now we are being held up by the moving averages. Had a little bit of a pullback at the second POC point of control on the VPVR. That's where we got rejected from. So I do think we could possibly get to the top of the range. The momentum oscillators are starting to turn up. As you can see, your RSI is below the signal line, but we are in the neutral zone as of right now. It looks like we're trying to front run the neutral median line. Yeah, as of right now, we're trying to get back above. If we can get back above this candle at 29,835 region, I think we do come up to the top of this range. Now, whether we break the top of this range about the time of the FOMC meeting or the minutes is another story. Now, there is usually a lot of vol at the time of the minutes, which is after the FOMC meeting. I guess there ain't an actual FOMC meeting today, but the minutes is what matters. So your MACD looks like it's coming back down for a retest. Your positive momentum is decreasing. So as long as that don't cross, we'll probably still be in good shape. Let's move down to let's move up to the 4 hour. So as you can see here, your range is a little more clear. All your major moving averages have negative slopes, but your 21 and your 50 is trying to curl up. Looks like they have a slightly upside curvature. Your RSI is in the neutral median zone, above the signal line. MACD, fresh cross to the upside, trying to get that fresh cross to the zero line. So like I was saying, looks like we could be trying to test the top of this range. We were being held down by the 100 still, just like the last high. We have made a lower high. Now, I wouldn't count us out just yet. I do think we're coming up to the top of the range. Now, around the FOMC meeting, I mean, we could test the top of the range and still crack back down. You know, we could go sideways for a little while longer, but I think the move is coming. You know, I know I've said that for the last few days, but it is coming. I want to go to the daily real quick. As you can see on the daily, we are very low vol. So usually when you have low vol for a while, you're going to start to expand, which is why I'm saying that this move is probably going to be coming soon. Now, your MACD fresh cross to the upside and your positive momentum is increasing. You will continue to rise above as long as you are above 28,157. So we got about $1,500 leeway right now. It looks like we're not going to be crossing below that signal line unless we get back below 25,000. So that kind of coincides with us breaking that last low and going down to, you know, the 23K region. That would lead us down that way, I think, if we do break the 25K level. Your RSI, you are in the bearish control zone, but you're trying to rise above. As you can see, you're rising above pretty sharp. You are above that signal line. So let's go back down to the 1 hour and talk about levels. So basically, if you can break this last candle at basically 29,850, I do think you would break this last high and come up to the top of this range. Now, if you break this last low if you break this last support level at basically the POC point of control at 29,380, I would think you would test the bottom of the range. Now, remember, we're paying attention to which way this breaks. You break the bottom of the range, I think you come back down to this last low and get your bounce. Now, whether it comes back up and retests the range and resumes down is another story. We have, I'd say, 4 different scenarios. One being that we come down here, get a bounce to the top of this range, and then resume down, or hitting the top of the range, breaking that, coming up here to 32,500, then coming back down, retesting the top of the range and moving up to 35K. That's the second scenario. Third scenarios are that we get this move, but we break back into the range here, either side, and have some sort of a trap. Now, the upside, that happening on the upside is a little more or less likely, as I think if we would break 23,500, even if we get there, I think we would work our way up to 35K. Now, some more I'm talking about on the downside, we could get that trap. So let's basically map out our 3 scenarios. First scenario, come here, come up for the retest, come back down. Second scenario, we come down, trap, come back in the range, break top of the range. Third scenario, we do something like this, test top of the range, come up to 35K, down to the depths. So those are my 3 scenarios that I think have a high probability of playing out. Let's go ahead and delete this stuff. So yeah, those are my thoughts for Bitcoin. If you guys are liking this video so far, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Free way to support the channel. Turn on those notifications. This content is very time sensitive, so you want these notifications as soon as I upload a video. Let's move on to Ethereum. I need a drink. Okay, so here on Ethereum, similar story, a little weaker. As you can see, you're kind of going down to the right here. Your RSI is in the neutral median zone, but you are testing the top, or the top of the bearish control zone. Looks like you might test it. So either we get a bounce, either this is a reversal from the POC point of control on the VPVR, or we come back down possibly to the 1940 level. Your MACD kind of trying to get above that 0 line. Now, if you come back down, you're going to have strong support here at this 0 line and signal line. So that kind of makes me think that we might not come down to that last low. This might be the short-term bottom. If we can get back above this 50 EMA on the 1 hour at 1990, I do think we could come back up to the top of this range. Possibly get a small rejection at the 2070 level. Your vol seems to be low right now. Your BBWP is in the lower zone, still contracting. So we will find out what happens next. Let's go out on the 4 hour. All right, so your 4 hour, a little clearer of a picture. We are being held down by the 50. If we can get back above this range, if we can break the top of this range at 2100, I do think we would come up to 2350 region. By that time, this 200 will probably work its way down to this purple region. Your momentum oscillators are pretty neutral right now. As you can see, your RSI is basically contracting in against this signal line. You did test the top of the bearish control zone, kind of had a little bit of a trap there. Right here, tested the bottom of this range, cracked back up. Your MACD. Okay, so fresh cross of the 0 line, and it looks like you're retesting. So that's kind of in the bearish camp, thinking maybe we could come back down to the bottom of this range. If we do enter the bearish control zone on the RSI, I do think we come back down to the bottom of this range. Now, if we can get above the neutral median line, and on your MACD, cross back above this 0 line, which would be at 20,067, then I think you could get to back to the top of this range and the 100 that also comes in at the top of the range. Let's move on to the daily. Okay, so looks like you got some sort of descending triangle or descending wedge here. Not much of a pattern trader, but looks something like that. Your RSI pretty deep in the bearish control zone right now, but your MACD, come on, trading view, fresh cross to the upside. Positive momentum is increasing, which means if that short-term price action can get bullish, it will roll over into the daily. We will build that momentum as your vol starts to increase. As you can see, your BBWP is printing a low read right now. So I think this move is coming, and it's going to come quick. You know, we've been accumulating or distributing for a while now. I mean, like a few weeks. So when this move comes, it's going to be big, and I think it will either lead us up to 2360 region or down to the 1500 region. So yeah, that's my thoughts for Ethereum. Let's move on to Solana. We'll start at the daily, deep in the bearish control zone, but fresh cross to the upside. Once again, like Ethereum, positive momentum is increasing. Now, Solana has been in, I mean, you've cracked down, been in a downtrend for a while. As you can see, perfectly respected these lines. Remember how we were talking about this at 35? It directly bounced off of that. Now, we're trying to get back up. We're kind of going sideways down to the right. Okay, something just happened. Sorry about that. Vol's contracting still. As you can see, your BBWP is in the lower zone. Let's move down to the 4-hour. Okay, so here on your 4-hour, riding the top of this bearish control zone, trying to get back above it. Your signal line comes right at the top of the bearish control zone. Will be a kind of hard level to break. I think that would coincide with breaking the middle of the range. If we can get back above that middle, I think we would break the 50 and come up to the 100. It's the top of this range at $54. MACD riding this zero line, fresh cross to the downside though. And you got rejected from the zero line, which, I mean, it's not a death sentence yet. Riding the bottom of this range, though, right now. Solana definitely looks weaker than Ethereum and Bitcoin. Your BBWP is in the upper zone, but it looks like it's contracting. You could bounce off this middle line because, as I was saying, the FOMC meetings today. So we could get this move coming. Let's go down to the 1-hour and talk about levels. So as I said, you're grinding the bottom of this range. We are in this purple region like we were talking about. We've stayed on the pulse of Solana pretty well. That channel has really helped us out. All right, so you're trying to get out of the you are out of the bearish control zone. It wouldn't take much to get back in it though. And if we roll over right here, it's going to look like a head and shoulders on the RSI, which would probably lead us back down to this level somewhere in here at the 36.31 level on the RSI. Your MACD, okay, so it looks like you're trying to get the bounce off the signal line. As you can see, you are getting a bounce right now, but this is the tick that we are on as of right now. So we need to stay above that signal line. We need to stay out of the bearish control zone in order to make this a bottom. Now, if we can get back above the 50, I think we do work our way up to the